SI আৰু Indian Women Network Assam chapter presents India at 100 Women-led Development.
Presented by Topsem Cement, Mazbuti ka bharosa hamesha. Powered by Nestle Serico. Co-powered by Jetta Farm, Desh ka culture, agriculture. Banking partner, State Bank of India, the banker to every Indian. Education partner, Assam Downtown University. Health partner, Azile Hospital, Litosif, Hell Liver Syrup. जो पिएगा वो जिएगा. In association with NRL, Oil India, Ministry of Women and Child Development, Government of India. Print partner, the Assam Tribune. Radio partner, Gupshup 94.3 FM. Proud to be local.
Session, which is building a sustainable environment. Just give us a moment to do the setup and then we are good to go. Ishu Shiva stands as a dynamic and deeply motivated young social entrepreneur, also holding a certification as a yoga instructor. Born into the esteemed family, here she is, the beautiful Ishu Shiva. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Ishu Shiva as I request her to speak on this very, very important subject. Ma'am.
Namaskar, my name is Ishu Shiva, as you have heard. In a local language, I learned how to say, Apuni log phale asani. Well, this is the thing about learning different cultures. Let's get to the topic today. Since we are celebrating the planning of 25 years of women-led development, India at 100. So I have designed my presentation in a way how women-led development can help in reducing carbon footprints in the next 25 years. So when we talk about women-led development, we need to understand where we stand today. Women only contribute about 18% to the Indian economic as GDP out of 48. That's the possibility. We need to fill this huge gap in these coming years, and that's when we can achieve it with a strategic planning. Next. I'm a yoga teacher and a social entrepreneur, and I have founded an organization, a social enterprise called Sanitary, that has won many awards in the sustainability sectors across the nations. We have successfully developed a model which is 360 degrees ethical, sustainable, and we work in a collaborative manner that will contribute to the future SDGs that is planned by the UN. Next, carbon footprint. Are all of you aware what is carbon footprint, first of all? So the thing is, climate change has only become very popular recently. And I'm no Greta to explain this. So let us learn what exactly is carbon footprint. In order to tackle this huge problem, we need to understand what it is exactly. Let's watch this video.
The Simple Show explains the carbon footprint. This is you. You've probably been hearing a lot about climate change and how you should reduce your carbon footprint. But what is that exactly? Just like an actual footprint, it's a mark you leave upon the environment. No, not with your shoes, but with every action that releases carbons. Those are the harmful gases, such as CO2, which are pumped out by burning fossil fuels like oil or gas. The more fuel you use, the bigger your footprint will be. You may think that by driving your car, the only carbons you release come from the engine, but no. Consider the carbons that are emitted just to get fuel into the tank. From the energy needed to extract the oil from underground, the pollution caused by transportation and refinement, to the final delivery to your local petrol station. Not to mention the CO2 released by manufacturing your car in the first place. More than you thought, huh? So unless you live in a cave, you and everything you own has its own carbon footprint. Read a book? Printing and distributing. It uses energy. Brush your teeth, and your utensils will have a history in a factory. Even something as basic as an apple could have traveled hundreds or even thousands of polluting miles to end up in your local supermarket. You see, it's pretty much impossible to leave no carbon footprint behind, but that's no reason to stop trying. Think about your actions and choices, and you'll be able to reduce your personal mark after all. That's how you really put the boot into climate change.
Little simple way how to understand what carbon footprint actually is. We need to understand it is not only the factories that produce it, it is not only government, it's not only us. So it's all of us together. I'm going to give you a very brief example of how sanitary has helped. Sanitary is a social enterprise that produces reusable sanitary pads. We need to understand in order to, because all of you are into the product or service industry, right? So we need to understand where we are sourcing our materials from, where is it traveling from. That is very, very important, right? So we have managed to source our material that uses minimal toxicity processes like PUL for the waterproofing layer of it. The content used is organic cotton, which preserves the life, the land life, soil life. Next is a packaging industry. Packaging industry is the second largest polluter on this planet. And we have managed to, we're very proud to have created packaging out of industrial offcut. So we are reusing it. This is the structure of the pad. It is reusable up to 2 years. It's washable, it's hygienic, and it's sold across many states in India and across nations. This is the amount of disposal pads a lady uses in the entire life. And you have no idea because it stays in the environment for 500 to 800 years after you dispose it. Imagine how it travels to your food chain. So no matter what work you do, you need to make sure that you're empowering the grassroots of India by making women employable as much as possible going forward. Remember the digit. We are only contributing 18% so far. We need to fill the gap and achieve the gender equal future.
Thank you very much, ma'am. And put your hands together for Ishu Shiva for delving on this very important topic on reducing our carbon footprint. How deeply are we going to think about it once we've seen her presentation? India at 100 Women-Led Development Conclave is presented by Topsem Cement, powered by Nestle Care Grow, co-powered by Zeta Farms, banking partner State Bank of India, education partner Assam Downtown University, healthcare partner Agile Hospital, Letrosiv, Health Liver Syrup, in association with Numolico Refinery Limited, Oil India Limited, Ministry of Women and Child Development, Government of India, print partner the Assam Tribune, and radio partner Gupshup 94.3 FM, proud to be local. And I'll start off with this next session, which is again building a sustainable environment, and I'm going to call in the panelists and the moderator. I will call in the first panelist, Mr. Rituraj Fukan. May I request you to kindly come onto the dais and take your seat, please. Please put your hands together for Mr. Rituraj Fukan as I introduce him. He's an environmental writer, TEDx speaker, adventurer and nationalist based out of Assam. He's the founder of the Indigenous Peoples Climate Justice Forum and also serves as National Coordinator for Biodiversity for the Climate Reality Project in India. He's a member of the International Union for Conservation of Nature and sits on the board of civil society groups in the Americas, Europe and Australia. A very warm welcome to you, sir. This is our honor and pleasure that you're here today. Please put your hands together for Mr. Rituraj Fukan. Our next panelist in this session will be Disha Sarkar. May I request you, the young lady here, please come on and please give a big round of applause to this wonderful lady, Disha Sarkar. She's a youth delegate for UNICEF South Asia at United Nations, COP26 at Glasgow. She's in the organizing team member of the Middle East and North Africa Climate Week 2022, Dubai, in collaboration with World Bank Group, United Nations Climate Change Secretariat, and Ministry of Youth, United Arab Emirates. International Youth Delegate for ACE Exchange Program by United Nations Climate Change Secretariat and the Ministry for Economic Affairs, Innovation, Digitalization and Energy of the State of North Rhine-Westphalia, Germany. Former Global South focal point for ECOS, that is Climate Education, Communication and Outreach Stakeholders Community, recognized under the United Nations Climate Change Secretariat. It's my absolute honor to welcome you. Our next panelist for this session is Ms. Smita Borkotoki. May I request you to kindly come on stage, please, ma'am. Ms. Smita Borkotoki is an agriculture and NRM professional with over 17 years of extensive multicultural and multi-geography experience in sustainable agri-food systems, sustainable livelihoods, climate change, adaptation, and soil and water management, with a Master's of Science degree in Soil and Water Science from the University of Florida, Gainesville. Ms. Borkotoki has wide experience in working in Indian as well as international development organizations such as the World Bank, FAO, TERI, AFRO, WOTR and SIRD. She has demonstrated excellence in leading large projects and dealing with stakeholders such as the International Fund for Agriculture Development, Ministry of Rural Development, IDH Sustainable Trade, LWR, and the state governments of Nagaland, Mizoram, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh and Assam. It's my honor to welcome you, ma'am. A very huge round of applause for Ms. Smita Borkotoki. Will be Mr. Rituraj Sharma. May I request you to kindly come on stage, please? He is an agripreneur and a serialpreneur. Mr. Rituraj Sharma founded his agricultural firm Zeta Farms with the goal of reviving the agricultural sector to ensure the sustainability of India's food supply. He is dedicated to connecting India to Bharat by providing access to all the resources and services required to improve the livelihood of farmers. Rituraj's passion for agriculture can be traced back to his 7 years of research in the industry before establishing Zeta Farms just 1 year ago. It's my honor to welcome you, sir. And a round of applause. Thank you. And our moderator for this session will be one of our members. And may I request Utpala Sakya ma'am to kindly come on stage, please. She joined the Assam Civil Services in the year 1992 as Circle Officer and retired as Secretary to the Government of Assam. As a civil servant, she has worked in various sectors like Revenue, Municipal Administration, Secretariat Administration and Industries and Commerce Department. Her longest stint was in the power sector as policy maker. She's also worked as CEO ASRRLM, and she has retired as Deputy Commissioner West Karbi Anglong in the rank of Secretary to the Government of Assam. It's my pleasure to welcome you, ma'am, and I will hand over the session to you. And ladies and gentlemen, our moderator, if we have time, we're going to have a couple of questions from the audience, but we'll see whether we have time or not. Okay, ma'am, over to you.
We will start with a discussion, and since there are no gender bias, I will start with the no gender equality. I'll start with Rituraj Pokal. As I know, as we have learned that you are an environment activist, writer involved in conservation of water, climate change and its impact. So the buzzword today is circular economy. What we take from our environment must be compensated and paid back to the infill measure to emerge as zero affluent organizations. So how can education and awareness campaigns help motivate people to adopt sustainable lifestyles? Are there any standout? Okay, that I will come later. And also, how can we make green enterprises lucrative industries for youngsters to pursue?
Thank you. That's a great question. And first of all, thank you to CII and DOI 365 for this very interesting panel. And I think sustainability and climate education has been the key to what we have seen in India as well as across the world in terms of new industries, new green initiatives being implemented across existing industries, as well as the whole thriving startup economy that we are seeing emerging all over the country and all over the world. Of course, the concept of climate or environment education started about 40 years back. But if we look at, have we been able to protect our vital water and air, then maybe somewhere we have failed. But I would say the kind of knowledge that we see among young people today who grow up thinking sustainability, in that way I think climate and sustainability education has evolved, and it is continuously evolving. I just came back from the International Conference on Sustainability Education last week in New Delhi, where we had all the FEE, the CEE, who are the pioneers of sustainability education in India as well as the world. And what we see now is that there is this massive willingness among young people to actually take everything hands-on and find the solutions in everyday work that needs to be done. Even here in Assam, I'm very excited about the emerging green startups that are creating so much of change in every sector, including tourism. And if I have a chance, maybe I'll come back to that later. So yeah, that's my opening remarks. Thank you.
Smita, as you are an agri-professional, and we know that the magic mantra today for sustainable growth and development are the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle. So we know nowadays there is a lot of food wastage coming up. And in India and in the fields, crops get rotten due to lack of cold storage chains. And also in the big parties, how does one reduce the waste of food in our country and make it into a lucrative business enterprise or whatever? We would like to hear from you.
Each actor who are working in these different levels has the equal roles and responsibilities to play and to reduce the food loss, either loss or waste, and to contribute to sustainability. It is very unfortunate that 10% of the global population, they go to bed hungry every night. Whereas we are wasting 1/3 of the food, we are wasting 30%. So it means that because of us, some other people are being deprived, and we can't afford that, right? That is the first. And secondly, food, the entire system, it has some cost in the sense, not I am talking about financial, the monetary terms. Whatever activities we are doing, Mother Nature is paying for that. Right? Mother Earth is paying for that. So it's means to produce a certain amount of rice, let's say, we are using so many resources. We are using water, we are using soil, we are using energy. At the same time, we are emitting greenhouse gas. Just to give an example, to produce carbon footprint of rice per hectare is 9 tons. Which is enormous, right? It means that to produce rice in 1 hectare of land, it produces 9 tons of carbon dioxide equivalent gas. And you can imagine how many hectares of lands are under rice cultivation. Similarly, for wheat, it is 5 tons. So that is the 2 main reasons that for the same. First, we don't have any right to deprive other people, and secondly, we don't have any right to pollute our Mother Nature. So we can't afford food loss. Different organizations are doing, like as I said, regional, local, and international organizations are working. So as a part of the World Bank, I would like to just mention a few recommendations that has been put forward by the World Bank groups. So that basically says that the action has to be collective. It has to be collective in the sense of that all the different players, like policy makers, maybe it is researchers, then CBOs, the civil society organizations, then even the growers, and each and every of us, we have a major role to play. And the detail has been given in that report, like the government has to change the policy. They have to bring into this component as one of the most important, one of the key components whenever they design any particular project in agriculture or in environment sector. And then also, one thing I would like to mention here, because I have worked in the USA also, it is not, I'm not talking only about India. India, of course, India is wasting almost, I think, 68 million tons of food. But in the US, I have seen so many food are being wasted. And that is also sometimes it is because of the policies also. It happens because there are so many universities, right? Whenever they have some trials or some field experiments, they dispose all the produce.
So, thank you, Smita. So, let me now go to Rituraj Sharma, who is an agripreneur. He has got a Jetta Farms. So, later on, I would like to ask you about what your farm, what they are doing in this sustainable development. But first, let me say, you are working for revival of agricultural economy to bring about food sustainability. What innovations in renewable energy and technology hold promise for green future, and how can they be scaled up?
Yeah. So luckily we are in that industry which is like already like absorbing the carbon in our business model as well, right? And considering the innovations which we are using, we are placing the right kind of technology at the right options, or you can say the right propositions there on the farm level. Like we are using cameras which are working on solar energy. Like we are not using the direct electricity there. We are also using regenerative agriculture practices wherein the waste of the farms which are being coming out of our industry is being decomposed to make again the manures, or the decomposed use can be again utilized at the farms there. So that's where the sustainable practices come into play. Also using solar pumps at the farms or in the industry. They are coming onto my industry. I can like talk a lot there because it's already working around the sustainability or the carbon offset footprints which we want to reduce there. People are approaching us to give us our carbon credits to them. That's where the circular economy also comes into place, that we can give out our carbon credits to the people in the industry, like the airplane manufacturing industries or some of the European companies are coming out to us that where can we offset our things, right? And we are expanding this business all across the country, so that this kind of sustainability can be taught upon to the traditional farming practice, traditional farmers as well, because they are not aware that when to use water. Like ma'am was also saying that ample amount of water is being utilized for the growing of multiple crops there. So how can calculative approach be done? It's not like that you just need to throw in the water for the plants, and because there is a capacity for the plant also that it will absorb a limited amount of water. If I am thirsty, I will be having a glass of water only. I will not be drinking the whole like a tanker of water that I will not be thirsty for the year then, right? It is the case with plants also. So that's how we make our practices. A calculative approach is being done, regenerative agriculture is being used, solar energy is being used for the working creation of and the tech is being employed over that part. Most importantly, all the things which are being said here are being tracked upon at a central level, so that we know that where the energy is being utilized more, where the energy is being utilized there, where the training aspects have to be given more. This is how Zeta Farms is working upon. So through this, I always say, from my point of view, from my industrial point of view, we want to change this Deshka culture as agriculture, so that this carbon offset, sustainability, all things can be given at the whole societal level. This is what we want.
To Ritu Raj here. Ritu means season, change, climate and change. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
So, and both of you all are working in this line only. So next I will come to Disha. So Disha, as your name suggests, you give direction. Huh? So I would ask, see, most of the population, India's population is the youth of today, and they are the greatest consumers. They buy products which maybe don't have the low carbon footprints, so whatever. So I would like to ask you, what steps we have to take to create awareness amongst the next generation to be responsible consumers? Over to you.
With 65% of India's population below the demographic population of 35 years, I believe that, as you have said, that youth are the trendsetters, youth are the influencers who influence the consumer base. So I totally agree to what you have said. And this leads us to a phenomenon which I would like to say as McDonaldization of the Indian society. When I use the term McDonaldization of the Indian society, I refer to the fact that we require everything fast, at the click of a moment, like the McDonald's fries. And there has been a paradigm shift between the traditional love or intrinsic love for homemade marhator, masortenga, or be it the love for classical Indian music. There has been this paradigm shift to the hip-hop culture or to the fast food culture. And I don't think that this is a bane or a boon, but this is the reality that we as youth are exposed today in this 21st century, in this ever-evolving and fast-moving world. And when you say that youth influence the consumer base, I think it's actually a green flag, because youth will motivate the industries, youth will motivate the green ventures to come forward, because somewhere or the other, subconsciously, they are aware that they are dealing with a consumer base which is more environmentally cautious, which is more environmentally aware. And when I talk about awareness, I do not just talk about in the theoretical term, rather a more practical aspect of awareness. And here I would like to talk about something that is related to youth and which youth are very passionate about. So the first thing I would like to talk about is sustainable fashion and sustainable clothing. Clothing and fashion is something youth are passionate about. They change their trends according to the Instagram reels. So that is how fast fashion has evolved over the years. But here, youth have to understand that they are the drivers of change in this new world, and therefore they have to be environmentally cautious. They have to understand that the products that they are using, they should be more eco-labeled. Why not recycle or upcycle the old clothes? Maybe wear your siblings' clothes. There is no shame in wearing your siblings' clothes, right? Because you are taking a step that is environmentally more cautious, environmentally more aware. So this is something that I would like to talk about. And in this regard, I think the initiatives by luxury brands like Vogue or Zara, they have committed to change their net carbon emission to zero emission by 2040. So these are some of the appreciable steps in this regard. The second thing that I would like to talk about in terms of awareness building is creation of an intergenerational climate network. When I talk about a climate network, I'm not just referring to a youth network, rather a more multi-sectoral, multi-dimensional climate network where we may have individuals from maybe the indigenous communities who have tremendous knowledge about the traditional medicines, or be it youth from the urban areas who are ever exposed to this catastrophic problem of flash floods, or be it the experts from government side, or be it experts or researchers who have done tremendous research in this field. So I think it gives that platform to come together, collaborate their ideas, bring the insights on the same table and build from there. And also it may help green ventures to maybe attract angel investors. So this is a collaborative effort that we are looking forward to. And we are doing good, and we have a great way forward. Thank you.
Rituraj. Okay, can you share some successful green entrepreneurship initiatives that have significantly reduced carbon footprints in their respective industries?
By the way, I want to just quickly come back to carbon footprint, because all of us have been talking about carbon footprint, and I think it's been way too long that we have been talking about a negative aspect of our lifestyles. Like, we are counting what we are treading on, what we are stepping on. That is the footprint. But about 15 years back, a 10-year-old girl from Hyderabad started something called handprint. She said, I want to be counting what I am doing for the planet. I want to be able to actually measure my positive impact. And therefore, this movement called the handprint movement started, and it has only just started to pick up now after 15 years. And all this while, we're all stuck up with, what is our carbon footprint, how much are we doing in terms of offsets, and you're having a footprint and you are offsetting in some place thousands of kilometers away, whether it's real or not, you do not know. And then we have this entire problem with carbon credits. That's the biggest, problem in the global climate negotiations in terms of finance, because you're not able to account for double counting, you're not able to account for counting that is not actually what, doesn't reflect the reality. So therefore, I think we could learn from this little girl who started this movement and start counting what we are doing. And it is very easy, all of us can track what we are doing positively for the planet. So I think it's high time we started talking about handprints. Thank you.
Thank you, Rituraj. I'll come to Rituraj Sharma again. So can you please tell me how important is government policy in achieving sustainability goals?
There should be a common perspective of achieving that sustainability, right? So, considering again from the government side, government has recently launched NCM and all for gaining the carbon credits. Okay, they are SDG goals, which is also the prominent, you can say, Indian government is also working towards it, that every corporate or individual should work upon achieving those SDGs. They are also trying to get the compliance of ESGs and all, and they are giving certain kind of incentives in the format of credits and the incentivization schemes to reduce what we say in the format of subsidies and all to the corporates and all. Okay, so that they can work towards that common goal of sustainability. This is only from a macro perspective government can do. From an industrial set of point, I can talk about my industry that government is already giving certain kind of subsidies in the format of, if I want to have a solar pump, they will give me subsidies. If I want to have a biochar setup for reducing the carbon or offsetting the carbon there, they will again give me subsidy. Okay, government will help me out in selling off my carbon credits and all. This is the initiative that the government is being taken, and we all should be aligned with that.
So Disha, let me ask you, what is more important, economic growth or environmental problems?
I think this is the need of the hour, this is the dilemma. Like, we have on one hand economic growth and on the other hand sustainability, growth in terms of environmental consciousness. So we have to firstly acknowledge the fact that every country is bounded by its national circumstances and national barriers. So as you have rightly mentioned that India is a developing country. As a developing country, we have our own set of challenges, be it in the terms of poverty, as shown in the first slide itself, be it in the terms of poverty or be it in terms of gender inequality or several other social evils. So we have already very important and most crucial things at hand which needs immediate addressing. However, we have to understand that there is no planet B, as mentioned in the beginning of the session, and also the fact that we are already behind time. When IPCC report that combines the inputs from different communities, from different parts of the world regarding what is the present scenario of the earth, it has already subjected us as code red. So we have to understand that we do not have a lot of time. So based on the limited amount of resources, based on the limited amount of avenues that are available to us, as a country, I think we are doing great. Because India, if you see the recent initiatives by the central government or the state government, they have been tremendous, be it introduction of the carbon crediting, as Mr. Rituraj has mentioned, or be it the sudden impetus on the budget regarding green jobs or emphasizing on green entrepreneurship. So I think, and plus this sudden awareness about green ventures, need for green awareness, because I think this panel itself is the evidence that we are talking about environment. And I think we are doing good. And the best will be done when we have a conglomerate effort from everyone together. As mentioned before, we need to conglomerate all the efforts and move forward from here.
Thank you, Disha. So I would like to thank everyone. I would like to thank the panelists for being here. I would like to thank the audience here and the distinguished guests who have participated with us. And so now, thank you all. Thank you, IWN.
CII আৰু Indian Women Network Assam chapter presents India at 100 Women-led Development.
Presented by Tops and Cement, मजबूती का भरोसा हमेशा. Powered by Nestle Serico, co-powered by Jetta Farm, देश का culture, agriculture. Banking partner, State Bank of India, the banker to every Indian. Education partner, Assam Downtown University. Health partner, Agile Hospital, Litosif, Hell Liver Syrup. जो पिएगा वो जिएगा. In association with NRL, Oil India, Ministry of Women and Child Development, Government of India. Print partner, the Assam Tribune. Radio partner, Gupshup 94.3 FM. Proud to be local.